Hey guys, how's it going? This is Chris with Husky Trading Solutions. It is Wednesday, 3/15/2017. Very big day today, guys. All right, I want to do a short review here just to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're doing, and today's session is going to be the importance of our daily charts. Okay, this is one of the indicators out of a few that I've determined to be really extremely important when reading the market. And then I'm going to show you a play that was generated by myself yesterday into the closing hours. There was another one generated today that one of my students told me he took, and so we'll go through that. But here's what we have. All right. Today, gold was one of our stars. Again, today was a very big day. We had petroleum report. That's one thing. We had FOMC today, came out, raised a quarter point. All right. Everything is great in the world, I suppose. Okay, so there was a very strong reaction to that. But we're just going to kind of dial down to the daily chart for a second here and talk about some of the stuff that we have seen. Okay. Up until recently, okay, from the highs here, we have been in a pretty strong downtrend. But it doesn't mean that there were not opportunities to go long. All right. This is a 23-hour chart, basically. Everything excepting the everything except the margin maintenance period from 4 o'clock Central to 5:01 Central. So, but what we could see here is on the way down. Obviously, there was some opportunity to go short, but there was also some very strong opportunities when testing this trend and as this downtrend was developing. Okay, what we're looking for is strong basing areas. These are candlesticks. We have opens and closes, and right here, and even as recently as this, which is what we got into today and worked out wildly successful, were very important points that I have mapped out. Okay, we can even see something in here, but really what was generated on the way down were these basing areas where we could get a few days, at least two, perhaps several. And let me get some drawing tools in here and we can kind of look at this in a little bit of detail. Okay, I'm using Blue Water Solutions software for this. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with it, but I can give you information on that at some later point if you would like. But what we're going to do is we're going to map out these areas. Okay, opens and closes of bodies. Okay, what I mean by bodies is anything inside the green, inside the red, and furthermore we're looking for extreme edges. Okay, these wick zones are going to give us an idea of what these bars once were and what they became. Okay, so we can see here with this red bar starting, opened up, was red, closed green. That's going to show us some strength in the market, or in other words, a potential turn. So this is what led to this uptrend. Now, it can be hard to pick these spots as they happen, but what can happen is these areas can generate trade signals for previous days. So just for instance, I don't want to go back in time, I want to stay relevant here, but this area right here at one point generated close to a $1,400 trade with two contracts. Okay, this area, I'm just going to draw a black line for this. Right here, all of these opens and closes generated a nice long trade, which ended up being close to $880 with two contracts. That's something that I took. But there is something to be said here. We are fighting the trend, okay, because we're seeing a lot of red and we got some pretty small green responses. Okay, so in other words, it is counter trend, but the opportunities were there. So in my room, I chose to act on them, and they ended up working out pretty well. That's not even talking about the short trending trades that were generated. Okay, but enough about that. This brings us to where we are today, okay, or within these last few days. This right here is today's big green bar. Massive response to these lows. But something to be said here, and something that was very important for my trading, was mapping out this area right here, which comes right at about 1196.80. Okay, red bar, green bar. This is the response to the downward trend. So we can see some basing here. We can see that big money is potentially coming in here and doing some buying. So I did not necessarily expect it to react the way it did, but again, it was a combination of economic data, FOMC, but what this did was pinpoint a very specific area of where I was looking for a trade signal to generate, and what my risk is essentially anywhere below these wicks. Okay, so your risk is pretty limited. If we get through this, then we have to take this over to here, okay, where we have another basing area and maybe an opportunity. Why is this important? This was a turn in the market. Okay, looking at these daily charts, we can see where the buyers originated from. Okay, you have solid red bars. All of a sudden, what happened? Trend turned, started heading upward, and that's what brought us into our upward trend. So there's a pretty good chance that these buyers are still going to be here. All right, just like right here where this red bar stopped and this green bar opened and went up, there's a pretty good chance that big money is still going to be here trying to drive this thing up. All right, this is one of the indicators that I use. Another indicator I will try to refine. This will take me into the 30-minute candles, and then of course that's going to take us to our tick chart where we do our tactical entries. So as long as we have these areas marked out, and this is what was relevant for today's signal, I'm going to bring over my tick chart, and we're going to take a look at the entry. Now, again, this happened relatively late at the end of yesterday's session. In fact, it was outside of the pit session. Okay, so Globex, what you will, but what we had was a driving market shooting straight down, creating the perception that this market was going to zero. Okay, well, off of that low where I showed you on the daily candles, we can see that we stopped, we held, and essentially what we get is a double bottom play. That's a whole nother video in itself, which should be coming soon. Okay, but with the generation of this double bottom, or W as I like to call it, it showed strength. In other words, this low could not take out this low. In fact, it couldn't even match it. Okay, couldn't match it by one tick. So that gave me an idea of this area is holding. Went in. Okay, I have some targets mapped out. Unfortunately, this kind of went late into the night, and I'm not sure about you guys, but sometimes the sleep takes over, and you got to deal with it. So stop at break even. Ended up covering my first lot on the open. Missed out on a little bit of profit potential, but that's okay. What we're really concentrating on is entries. All right, so we came down, tested, tried to let that second lot go, but the market decided it wanted to come back and test. So that's the way it works. I'm not perfect, but the entry is sound, and there was still a pretty good dollar amount associated with it. So again, I'm happy. I'm sure everybody would be happy with making $400, $450. We're always looking to make more, but guys, a lot of these signals are generated every day. Okay, there were some very good tops in NASDAQ to start out with, right off the open, and a very good test of a bottoming area before it went up. One of my students recognized that pattern. He told me that he did quite well. So as far as I know, I mean, it was a very good setup going into the FMOC, and if any of you guys were watching today, it really popped up and made new contract highs, as many of the equities did, or all of them in fact, but you know, pretty good day. So now as we trade down here, I want to show you the same area. Okay, and we have a couple different things going on, something we can identify with market profile. I think that should come later on in another video, but essentially it's giving us the same area in two different places, our daily chart, our 30-minute candles, and the market profile. Okay, if you can get more indicators to line up in one area, it makes it even better. So one of my students informed me that he also went long in this area once it retested. And as we can see here, as I go through the tick chart, that ended up being another wildly profitable opportunity. So pretty good stuff. All right, as we get into the meeting, we kind of based around what we usually expect markets to do. And then we can kind of see here as the report comes out, 1 o'clock Central, everything just broke loose, and this thing is going up and up and up. Okay, and this is going to take us to where we currently are. Okay, what I want to try to avoid are areas like this. There could be some opportunities, but what this is doing is really just creating another box. Okay, sideways movement, imbalance. We're looking for the next area to either hold or be broken, continue with trend, or retrace to origins. And this is something that we can see on our 30 minutes, our daily candles, and it's really good stuff, guys. Okay, but this is just an example of two trades that were generated in gold today, along with other markets. It was an exceptional day for trading. Lots of opportunity. This is what we want to see. We want to see volatility. Okay, we also want to know how to get into a market when it's moving sideways. All right. Now, just as a recap for any of you guys who are going to be tuning in today, let's take a look at some other areas and where we currently are trading. Okay, so right now we're trading around 12.1960. That's going to take us in the middle. This is a 30-minute composite market profile, a little bit unknown to a lot of traders. I've seen people who are always been interested in it but not really sure what they're looking at, something that in my class I go through in depth. It's one of the main things that I look at along with daily candlesticks and 30-minute candlesticks. Okay, but looking at a few areas where this may test that are going to be important. We're looking at this 12.1598 area to hold for support. If that gets broken, we may be looking to fill this gap. This is all of today's action. And of course, if this thing starts heading back up, let's take a look here and see what our contract average is. Okay, we're not too far away from it. This is going to bring us around 1220, 1228.70. We'll see where we go from here. Okay, with a report on any day, we usually get very, very high volatility. We'll see if it follows through or if it retraces. All right, so lots of good stuff going on in here. Guys, if any of you guys have any interest in learning this stuff, there's much, much more than I've just showed. Please feel free to contact me. I'll get you in my room for a couple days free of charge. 888-519-9251, extension 101. Again, that's 888-519-9251, extension 101. Thanks a lot, guys. Again, my name is Chris, founder of Husky Trading Solutions. Thank you.